So today we're gonna go over how to make your skull crushers or your tricep extension variations more elbow friendly. So one of the biggest issues with any kind of free weight, especially free weight, tricep movement is that they just beat the shit out of your elbows. So if you're performing a skull crusher, most people know that over time, your elbows are just gonna start to take a massive beating. You're start getting some tendonitis issues. You're gonna get screaming pain. It's gonna be a big issue. And then that's gonna transfer over into all of your pressing movements and even into your pulling movements for your upper body. And it's gonna be a huge limiting factor. So how do we get around that while still being able to train our triceps directly and effectively and also with heavy loads? What do we do here? So one of the biggest things that you can do is actually allowing for controlled shoulder movement. So shoulder flexion and extension in your tricep extension pattern or your tricep movement pattern. So we will use a skull crusher as a demonstration, but this can be across any extension pattern or any tricep movement. It's the same premise here. So most people, whenever they're doing a skull crusher, they lock their upper arms in position, and it's exclusively an elbow extension movement, which is fine because that is what our triceps do, right? Like they extend against things. Great. But it's not the best for shearing forces on your elbow. That's what inevitably will be the downfall of your elbows whenever you're performing a lot of heavy skull crushers. So to get around that, we add in some controlled elbow extension and flexion. So traditional skull crushers are here, fixed upper arms, and even just doing this with light dumbbells, I feel a good amount of strain in my elbows. So to fix that, we can go here. So same general eccentric, but we start to allow for some shoulder flexion. And that actually reduces the strain on our elbows. It seems very subtle, and it is very subtle, but just doing this takes a lot of pressure off the elbows, a lot of pressure off of the tendons, and allows you to more safely and effectively perform your tricep variations. So biggest thing for any movement, obviously, any training, is keeping the joints and tissues healthy. So very simple tip, very simple trick. It works for cable extensions. It works for any kind of easy bar extension. It works across the board. If you want to train your triceps heavily, effectively, safely, think about adding in a little bit of shoulder flexion at the top of the eccentric, just to get a little bit more range of motion, take a little bit of stress and strain off that elbow joint, and long term, you'll probably be thankful for it.